What's up guys, it's Michael here. In this video, we're going to talk about how Tesla changed the automotive industry forever and how did they change the definition of planned obsolescence. So before we get into this video, please click the like button down below and the subscribe button, which will help out this channel a lot. So let's get back into it. So first, we're going to look at the history of Tesla and the internal combustion engine, ICE. So in the beginning, when cars first came out, were designed by Mercedes-Benz, Daimler-Benz, and Henry Ford. So as time progressed, engines got more efficient, more cars arrived, then came out Tesla back in around 2008. That's when they really made a notable brand. I believe the company started around 2003 by Elon Musk because he was building fame, and he was actually in the movie Iron Man 2, which also gives him fame and brand recognition already. So what makes it really interesting back in the 2000s is there's a lot of car people out there and a lot of non-car people out there. Non-car people don't really care. They just want a vehicle to get from point A to point B in the most efficient way and cost effective as possible. And the automotive industry, whether you like it or not, you can agree or disagree with me, are basically in cahoots with each other. If you look at it this way, look at how car technology has evolved from like 1995 all the way up to today, modern day. Like they have the technology to make it even better, even faster, make it even last even longer. But then you realize, why is that not the case? Why is the improvement is basically little to none? And that started becoming really noticeable around like 2010 going forward. The improvement is started getting like worse and worse. I mean, of course, you can blame government policies and other external factors, but it doesn't change the fact that improvements to vehicle technology is basically becoming stagnant. For example, planned obsolescence, you look at the iPhone. There is so much you can do for the phone. They keep releasing new models each year, same with Samsung. They're both guilty of it. They're both the same thing. They don't want to provide support for the older generations because they want people to buy a new phone. And Tesla, well, give it time to see whether the hero will become the devil, is to see if they follow the same path as Apple. Based on what they're showing right now, the situation sadly is a yes. But even if the company fails, it still provides a major change in today's society. So how does it help us as a consumer financially? Because this is mainly a financial channel. How does it help us as a consumer? First, the non-car people, they caught its interest because it's technology. It's not really see it as a vehicle. They see it as a car they can get from point A to point B most efficient as possible and cost effective. So the real question is, how did they do it? First, for example, you look at electric cars when it first came out. Hybridization, the Toyota Prius. When it first came out, no one really cared about them. It's like they first classified them as a really slow vehicle, an ugly car. They can't do what performance ICE engines can do, right? But that slowly changed. Tesla first came out the first prototype, the Roadster, and they sold it, right? The car is a Lotus Elise body with basically batteries. And in general, that car, hate to break it a fact, all you fanboy Teslas, it's ugly. And it's slow. But for that time, great, right? First car. The real kicker, when it first really noticed, when they made the Model S back in 2013. And at the same time, the Holy Trinity came out back in 2013. That's when Porsche made the 918, Ferrari made the LaFerrari, and McLaren made the P1. The integrated hybrid technology with internal combustion engine, which is the benefit of both worlds. When that car came out, it proved that, electric cars aren't that slow. If you combine it and make it the right factors and enough, manufacturers able to put time and work into R&D, it becomes really fast. Then fast forward 2 years later, Tesla came out with the P90D and a year or two later, the P100D. And this finally solidified the fact that now electric cars are actually fast. But how does that affect us, the consumer, financially? Because you think about it, all the high-end vehicles, their technology, how they make it, is transitioning downward. So whatever they have on the top will eventually move its way down because it costs money to make that type of technology. You gotta get it. It costs money to make it. The best things cost money. When it costs money and when it becomes more cost efficient, it moves down the list. It moves down the list, fast forward 2 to 3 years later, 2018 and 2017, the Model 3, that was the game changer for Tesla. The groundbreaking point. The first electric car that's trying to compete people who are spending around the $35,000 range going up. So you look at people like, for my age, driving BMWs. So you look at the 328, Mercedes class, at least the Mercedes-Benz C-Class, and you have people buying Camaros, you have, even the muscle cars, the 4, the 8-liter. It's getting around that range of price. And also, fast forward a couple more years later, the Model Y. Now you got people targeting people who don't want sedans or basically sport cars. You have people having sedans. And also, it's just like people buy muscle cars, right? Performance and sound for the lowest, cheapest price cost as possible. And for that case, they sacrifice endurance and safety and reliability for it. But electric car, they're trying to change that. And how does that relate to planned obsolescence? Because face it that way, you look at the videos out there that talk about how light bulbs became so good, they purposely built them to break because they're not making money anymore. They found out they built a light bulb and set in a set duration. If it breaks, they have to buy another one again. So that's how they make money. And sadly, because, that's how businesses work, they need to generate profit and income. They make something so good, then they're not making as much money. And some people decided, for like almost every other manufacturer, takes planned obsolescence to the case. The only few exceptions, unfortunately and fortunately, are Japanese brands. They took the opposite approach. They stuck with the traditional ideal that, built for endurance and quality, and a sacrifice, which is performance. But, they become a #1 bestseller for vehicles because a lot of people are non-car people and they just want to get point A to point B. I get it. But how did Tesla make a breakthrough? How are they able to get the car so cheap? So as in manufacturing, more you produce, the cheaper it gets because more people make more efficient machines. They see money to be worth being invested into it, and money comes pouring in. So it becomes cheaper. Another groundbreaking thing, now compared to internal combustion engines, and this is not really based on internal combustion engines, it's based on a company's business format, meaning how do they do their business structure? You look at every single company, besides Tesla, they have basically dealerships. Yeah, Tesla has dealerships too. But what's the difference between everyone else's dealerships and Tesla's dealerships? Tesla's dealerships are there to give you support and give you the car. That's it. They don't come and upcharge you for the car. And dealerships for every other manufacturer, Ford, even exotic cars, Lamborghinis and stuff, Porsches, Ferraris, Hondas, Toyotas, they all upcharge you. And you look at it, like for example, when the new Ford Mustang GT350 came out back in 2015, when the Toyota Supra came out, and when the new Corvette CA came out, MSRP 60 grand, Supra 50 something grand, the GT350 70 something grand. Go to the dealership, you ask them for the car, instead they're charging you almost 6 figures, 20 grand upcharge, almost 20 to 25%. And in Supra's case, they're looking for about 50% upcharge. And he said, well, what's so bad about it? It's for building jobs. Well, let me ask you this. So now in the current pandemic, if you are watching this video on a computer, think about where does a computer come from? And people want to build a computer. I'm pretty sure it's a niche society for that part, because I'm part of that group. For a computer builder, you're trying to get a video card right now, right? You know what those people are buying video cards up, buying them up and reselling them? They call them scalpers. Basically, dealership is scalping the vehicle you want for the dealer to sell to you for MSRP. They're basically scalping it. They're taking it and making it more expensive than it originally is. Let's face it. Just for their jobs, they're scalping products that you're supposed to get for cheaper. And that's what Tesla came in and helped us as a consumer financially by getting rid of that. You just order online, you come pick up. And if people lose their jobs, well, sucks to be you. Because the way I see it, you're a scalper. That's what it is. You take a vehicle and you make it more expensive from MSRP so you can make a profit on it. And also, another thing besides scalping is a lot of advertisements for those companies, Automotive besides Tesla, is basically they advertise a product or car for that MSRP. When you go in, you don't actually get that MSRP. Why is that? Because it includes all the extra features and the scalping. So that's even worse. That's basically a double whammy right there on top of all the other crap. And Tesla, well, the great thing is you order the car, they send it to their dealership. You just go in there, inspect, and pick it up. What's so hard? Whatever you order online, you see is what you get. It's not like other car dealerships. Whatever you order with them, go in there and see it, and that's not what you get. Instead, you have to pay even more, and you have to argue with them. You have to deal with people that usually try to basically get your money by scalping you. It's what it is. And how is Tesla changing the financial and planned obsolescence game? Simple. Electric car has less moving parts. Second of all, people are breaking down the car and see what's inside the parts of the car. What are they used? So there's another video where a guy who took apart Tesla doors and the Ford doors, and he is an engineer and design for Ford back in whatever, I think it was like 1990, try to recommend using hinges and stuff. We look at it, when people buy that part, they said it's easy more for him to say it's to assemble. But you look at people don't care about that. Majority of people don't care. Personally, I don't care either. Because When I get the car, I want it to last as long as possible, and I want to have endurance, basically, when people buy it. And performance is a side effect, another factor that's came in, become an extra, in that case, thumbs up for them. Extra side performance they can get that will never feel from other cars. See, look at the way design quality is built. Yeah, of course. People said it was flawed, panel gaps. That's where you go and tell them. They go and fix it for you. Even if they do have it. They say it's blown out of proportion. And in reality, I don't think so. But if you get it, you go tell them. And they fix it for you for free. Okay? Before you leave the dealership. That's why you gotta do your diligence. And you can't just blame other people for it. Buy a car, you take responsibility for it. And what is another case is what I said earlier is performance. They brought performance to a level and a bracket where people usually don't feel it. So people are paying like what? $50,000 and under aren't getting sports sedan performance. Or, in the new case, the Model S Plaid is basically supercar performance. But sadly, that car is becoming supercar price. If they can bring that down to a lower 100 grand, that will be a lot better. Then it'll be competing against people like, the Corvette, the GTR, those type of category cars. But still, they're bringing it back to the consumer. And they're showing other manufacturers like, hey, you guys can't be upgrading your cars slowly year by year. Like basically doing what Apple and Samsung are doing. They have to make major leaps and improvements. Or people are just stop buying their product because they see another product is better. And of course, there's some things electric cars can't get passive is basically they don't have no noise. But as I said before in previous videos, it can be fixed by putting fake noise. Even if it's fake, it's still noise, right? And that's where how to help the consumer. Now they announced they're trying to make a $25,000 car. They tried to touch the territory where Toyota basically owns. It's basically the Toyota Corolla, the Toyota Camry, the Honda Civic, the Honda Accord, the 20 grand mark. If Tesla can touch that mark, you have a lot of people down there. Majority of the people buy cars around there. They want a brand new car, but they don't want to spend over 30 grand. That's the bracket. If you can touch that bracket and provide performance, the endurance, the reliability, that one's really important than performance. Performance is basically a side factor that came with it, which is a benefit. So if Tesla can touch in that area, which I'm pretty sure they will, they'll basically dominate the EV market. So if they do that, they'll basically tell consumers. So besides people like me who buy cars mainly because, they fit the bill, it's cheaper to charge it up at home. If you charge it elsewhere, in a supercharger, comparing that to gas, it's pretty close in price. But if you charge at home, if you're a homeowner, that's the biggest benefit for you owning an electric car. If you own an apartment, condo, then your benefit won't be as great. And most of the time, you'll lose a lot more time for charging, especially here in the West Coast. What makes it interesting, I think another thing that they add in Tesla compared to every other manufacturer is because they're putting safety first and also reliability. And most importantly, one thing that they have that no other manufacturer currently has is basically cameras. Basically, you look at channels like Wham Bam Tesla Cam, which they specifically targeted Teslas and featured them. It's basically their Tesla Cam. That helps them against, property theft, people smashing car windows. It basically gives them a sense of security and basically accountability for people who want to, commit crimes or theft. And I don't know why other manufacturers don't do that. Like BMW, Mercedes, if Tesla can do it, why can't they do it? And the theme between, calling them, futuristic with nothing in there, honestly, that's just, advertising to cut costs. But at the end, would you really use it? Would you really mind? That's another question. And what Tesla is doing right now, I commend them because they're pushing everyone else. If even you don't like Tesla, it's pushing everyone else, every other manufacturer to boost forward in their technology to make a better vehicle for people. That's how I see it. And as for cost, now the performance sector is coming down to the lower end. So people are now getting the reliability. As a side effect, they're getting performance along with reliability. And especially and most important is cost, because you have no middleman anymore. Even all the states complain about lose of jobs. To me, I see them as scalpers. And if they have no middleman, the car can be cheaper. And whatever you order online is what you get. You don't have people basically, holding you by the neck and changing up whatever they want to sell you or whatever they want to pitch to you. Makes it a lot easier for the consumer. That's it for this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Before I end this video, I have a comparison coming up. Within a few weeks, it will become a Tesla all-wheel drive and a long range versus a BMW 340 I with the M package. And my family has been running BMWs for many, many years, almost 2 decades now. So from a BMW driver and a person who has drove exotic cars before, comparing it as a 2 daily cars versus the Tesla and a BMW, you see which one's better and which one will suit basically my personal preference and how it can affect with you, because you break cars into 2 categories. One is a daily and one is a weekend for performance and fun. That'll be in a future video. I'll be posting it really soon. Peace.